Welcome back to the OKC Foodcast. You are joined once again by your hosts, Nabil
and Ashley.
I think we need to stop introducing ourselves.
Or I could start doing the intro. I feel like it's time. You can trust me. I really did ask if I could do the intro once, and he said, no, you do the outro. I'm like, all right.
We both have our roles.
Stay in your lane. But no, we are super excited because this week we are joined by not one, but two really, really special guests.
You got two reallys.
Really.
That's a lot to live up to.
Yeah. So we have Crosby and Crosby Dyke, right? And Jonathon Stranger from on Croûte. So welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're really excited to dive into this. We recently, I'll get into that in a minute. Let's talk about the favorite thing we ate this week.
Do you want to kick it off?
Sure. So mine is not technically a meal, but I just got a huge bucket of purple Cherokee tomatoes from my dad, and also like 13 onions and some garlic. And then my mom had some fresh basil and oregano, and then I also got some huge zucchini from my dad's garden. So I made a giant pot of homemade marinara sauce and canned about 9 jars of it. So, it was pretty good. I haven't had it on any pasta yet, but I ate quite a bit of it while making it to make sure, you got to taste test your way through it.
You didn't bring any jars with you?
No, I mean, I haven't had it myself. I've just had spoonfuls of it. But it was, from what I tasted, it was really, really good.
One of my next experiments is going to be pasta from scratch.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a minute.
I know.
I got you on that.
Yeah, this guy's got you.
I got you.
This is the right person
I can
to have
walk
on.
you right into that.
Right. I mean, he's been saying that for a minute now. I feel like that was just a really convenient way to bring that up.
Very timely.
I think I'm getting closer and closer because I just bought the roller.
All right.
And it's going to happen. It's
going
to happen.
We'll get some tips from Jonathon before he leaves. All right. So who wants to go next? Crosby?
Sure. So probably, honestly, the best thing that I had in the last week was the honey truffle fried chicken wings from our sister restaurant at St. Mark's Chop Room. And they're not a meal. I guess you could make it a meal, but it's a starter. And it's super tasty.
Okay, so what is it again?
It's the honey truffle fried chicken wings.
Honey truffle fried chicken wings.
Yeah. Those sound great.
That sounds really good. Is it saucy or is it like a dry rub?
It's like, so, not to go too deep into the world of wings, there's like so many different ways you can go with it and how they sauce. This falls under like what you would call wet wings.
Okay.
Like they're not super sauced, they're just more dressed it's basically a truffle oil and honey dressing.
Yum.
And that's how they're treated, as opposed to like your traditional, Frank's hot sauce, which has its place and it can be delicious, but where it's more of a cream-based coat and all. This is actually just a fried chicken wing dressed to finish real quick.
Okay, so you don't need a dipping sauce. Like that is...
No, there's no dipping sauce.
Yeah.
There's no blue cheese or celery.
Right.
Blue cheese would probably be disgusting.
Right.
With that.
The truffle.
It would be gross.
Honey.
I think, it would be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me think
if it's you, do you.
Taste it in my head.
Do you. But
all right, Jonathon, what was the favorate thing you ate this week?
So I feel bad because Crosby totally just propped up one of our restaurants.
Yep.
And I'm not going to do that. I'm going a week back from today.
Okay.
So it's 7 days, so it's legit.
Yeah.
I had Japanese sea urchin at Tsubaki Sushi. Which, Tsubaki is, if anybody's listening to this, go eat at Tsubaki. I keep hearing it as like, I know, it's mine too.
That's what I put in there.
It's mine too.
Someone think of another one quick.
No, it's too good. Like I've heard people around town say, "Oh, that's the place in the gas station," because it's right next to a gas station.
Okay.
But it truly is phenomenal. Like Henry trained in New York. I mean, it's legit, and it is so good. And he not only does like the rolls and all that, but he does a lot of modern stuff as well, but he gets sea urchin from Hokkaido, which is some of the best in the world in Japan, and he doesn't always have it, which is frustrating, and I still go back. And
I get a little bit mad.
I get a little, I'm like, really? All right, I'll just do the same shit I always do. And he had it last week, and I was like, a candy store, and I put down a couple orders of it.
Oh, yum. Okay, so where are they, besides being next to a gas station, where are they located?
Memorial and MacArthur.
Okay.
On the southwest part of like Memorial and MacArthur, and there's a Valero gas station.
All right.
And in this strip, there's a Valero gas station, a Jimmy John's, a frozen yogurt place. I can't remember. It's
Orange
one of the,
Leaf?
Yeah, the orange ones. And
It's in between.
it's in between there. And it truly is like
So
a
good.
little foodie treasure in the city.
It's funny that you said people don't go there because it's next. It's like, oh, it's in a gas station. That is probably one of the reasons I haven't been there. Because someone's like, let's go try that place. I'm like, I've never heard of it. I don't know how it's gonna be, and so we never ended up going there.
You should go.
So
But
now,
I got a new spot too that I'll
Totally
drop.
gonna
That's
go.
even in a worse location. But it's
You know
like,
what? You know what?
This one's between a porn shop and a vape shop, and it's phenomenal.
Yes,
You know,
I
you come
can't
to
wait.
learn that location doesn't necessarily dictate what the place is gonna be like.
Oh,
No, I
gosh,
mean-
that's awesome. All right, we'll get back to that
Yeah,
place.
we'll go back.
Yeah.
We'll go back. And my
I'm not
feelings
letting
on,
you leave before
and my
knowing,
feelings
it's
on
like a
decor and
one-stop
location.
shop. Yeah, right?
yeah.
All right, Nabil.
So my favorite thing wasn't something that I ate, but what I drank.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. You can do that.
Tells me a lot about you.
Which is hilarious.
So it's probably not what you think I drank, but it's coffee.
Oh,
It was Rome coffee,
okay.
and it was their lavender infusion with their cold
at
brew.
the
Yum.
farmers market.
Yeah.
The OSU farmers
Yeah.
market. Yeah.
So it was their nitro, because you can get it at the farmers market. Their nitro cold brew, and they put in their lavender syrup in there. And
Yeah,
it was,
it's lavender and vanilla bean.
yeah, lavender vanilla
So
bean
good.
syrup. It
Oh,
was
I love
so
that.
good.
Sounds good.
I don't
It
drink
was
coffee
really
though,
good.
but I love lavender.
Oh, really?
How do you stay
I
awake?
do.
I don't need any sort of extra stimulant. I've learned. I just every time like if I have coffee within like 30 minutes, I probably have to run to the restroom, or feel like I'm having a panic attack.
Yeah.
I just don't need the extra.
I used to serve you
Caffeine.
up big.
I know.
cold brews
I've
at the
kind of got away
restaurant.
from. Now I do
know.
matcha
Oh,
capsules
that's good.
Okay.
in the
Oh,
morning.
okay.
Just
Yeah.
it's like super condensed matcha capsules in the morning. I take that and I'm good to roll.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love coffee. I especially love Rome coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Rome coffee.
Yeah.
They also made me try their coffee Palmer. I don't know exactly what they called it, but it was cold brew and lemonade.
Oh.
Okay. So like I get it.
Yeah.
Coffee,
Yeah.
Palmer,
Yeah.
like iced
Yeah.
tea. Yeah.
It was surprisingly refreshing.
Really?
Because you would think
Well,
coffee and lemonade.
But a
maybe.
slice of lemon with a shot of espresso
Yeah.
is really nice.
Oh.
Classic.
Yeah.
All right.
I
Or
did
the
not know
lemon
that.
twist on the
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
You get that in Rome all the time.
Nice.
It's a Sicilian lemon, but
Oh, last time I was there, I didn't get it. They did not serve that to me. I will get it next time. All right, so let's dive into En Croûte. Would you
Let's
like
do
to?
it.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So you guys are in Nichols Hills Plaza, and first of all, Nabil and I had the opportunity to, and we talked about it here on the podcast, go to En Croûte for an influencer brunch. We absolutely loved it.
Yes. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
thanks for coming.
Yes, thank you so much. There was quite a few of us. I feel like we took up like all the booths.
Yeah.
We had about 30 plus.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love how you say all the booths. Like it's
I mean, there's
like there's 100 booths. There's like 6. It's a tiny place.
it is a tiny
Yeah,
place.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
very, very cute and cozy. What did you have again?
I had the cheeseburger.
The cheeseburger.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
It's-
fantastic.
Yeah, that was really
Thank
good.
you.
And I had the it was a brunch special beef tips. Is that right?
Tenderloin tips.
With the tenderloin
Polenta.
tips with the polenta. Yes, the cheesy polenta.
Poached egg, maybe. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. That
Yeah.
poached egg was there. It was good.
Good.
It was really good. We enjoyed it. So thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
So on Croûte, it's a cool name. How did you come up with that?
Tell him, dude.
We
We did it together.
We did. Well, we all
Yeah.
we threw out a bunch of, I wrote them down somewhere. We had lots of different ideas. But basically, so en croûte means to be, anything wrapped in a pastry.
Okay.
So warmth, cozy, kind of
Cozy. See?
Yeah.
pastry, cafe, bistro, fromagerie, and then it just sort of happened. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
That's how I remember it.
En croûte, so like in traditional French cuisine, there are plenty of dishes with the phrase en croûte in them. So brie en croûte, salmon en croûte, and coquille en croûte. And when we were looking through the menu and what we wanted to do, being kind of a simple kind of French bistro cheese shop with, and obviously an Oklahoma twist on it was, and what the space was and the size. And like Crosby said, there's every time you do a restaurant, there's so many horrible names that come out, and you hope that of all the bad ones, like a good one comes out.
Right.
And I think we all sat around the table and we're like, yeah, it's just what Crosby said. I mean, it's about, yes, it's being wrapped in pastry, but it means warmth and all that. And that's it really kind of, the space, it just kind of nailed it for us.
Yeah.
And
I think it did.
I think it was the only name that we were all like, yes.
That's it.
Because every time we had any other, I can't remember any of them, but we would all be like,
Maybe.
Yeah, everyone's being like nice, but at the same time, you're like, you fucking
Yeah,
hate that.
I'm not voting. I'm not voting for that
Just
name.
say
Yeah, just tell me the truth.
Yeah.
It's funny 'cause-
Let's keep that as option C.
Yeah.
And y'all have kind of a group of partners with this particular restaurant, correct? So you all had to agree on
Yeah.
the name?
Yes,
We all did agree on the name.
we
Yeah.
did.
We
yes.
did. We all agreed on the
That's
name.
good.
Everybody wants to
Yeah.
agree on the name. There's so many more important things.
Right.
But everybody wants to always agree on the name.
That's
Yeah.
what people see first.
Exactly. That's what you hear first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So, Crosby, you have a passion for cheese,
I do.
and I would say that the cheese
Oh, yeah, on that
plate,
platter.
the platter that we got initially to start off, the cheese was
I
amazing.
think you guys had the en croûte plate, which is kind of our breakfasty brunch, cheese, meat,
Yeah.
fruit,
Mhm.
greens. Yeah.
And the jam.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That brie was really good.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad you
Yeah.
liked it.
So, where did your cheese passion begin?
So I went to OU, and my friends Susie and Wampus own Forward Foods. I don't know if you guys have ever
yes.
been.
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh.
Which is a great
I love Forward
specialty.
Foods.
Yeah.
I guess I never came to the one in Oklahoma City, but the one in Norman, I used to live in Moore, and I would go to the one in Norman all the time.
Yeah, so it's on Main Street, and I met them, I don't know, in Norman. That's how you know everybody in Norman.
Right.
And they were like, we're going to open a cheese shop, because they used to have cheese sales at Opolis. I don't know if you're at Opolis. It's a music venue that's down there. It's really great.
sold cheese.
So, when there weren't music shows, Susie and Wampus would they were like, we're going to have cheese sales, and people would like line up for them, and they would
wow.
just sell them by the pound.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And they were like, okay, I think we need to open a cheese shop in this
Yeah.
town. So they
People
did.
like the cheese.
Yeah, and we were at a party or something, and I was like, I like cheese. I want to work for you. So I was their first employee, and I worked, that was 2006. So I worked there through college, and then it took me about 6 years to graduate, so I worked there for 6 years. And then I just fell in love with it. And then Norman being Norman, all kinds of interesting people. What do I do with this? Do you have this? When I was in France, I had this. It just kind of grew from there. So I
That's
don't
very
know.
cool. No, I love cheese.
Everybody loves
Maybe
cheese.
Yeah.
Even if they
We
say they
have
don't
a-
like
Mhm.
cheese,
Yeah.
they love cheese.
Job doing cheese.
Yeah, I just
No, I
That's
shouldn't.
excellent.
I mean, that would probably be the end of me. I feel like I wouldn't be able
Death
to.
by cheese?
Yeah, I wouldn't have any self control. I just know myself really well. So, what does it take to become a quote cheesemonger?
Sure. So, I mean, that really is just someone who has a passion for and deals in cheese.
Okay.
So, you don't have to have any special qualifications. You can. I did a little stint at the Cheese School of San Francisco. They have like a master's course. And there's like American Cheese Society that offers courses, and then conferences and cheese cutting competitions and that
Cheese
sort of
cutting
thing.
competitions?
Yeah, I've never participated, but
Do you feel like you would do well?
think
I would
you'd do
need
well.
some. I would need some. I don't. I'll just say it. Cut the cheese as much as I used to, because everybody wants to make the joke.
Well, okay. What does it mean to? I mean,
Slice the cheese.
If it's a cheese cutting competition.
Yeah. So
what is that? What
so
does
you
that
have to
entail?
slice like an eighth, a quarter, a half pound, and a pound of a certain cheese as quickly as possible, and get it as close to
Exact.
the quarter
okay.
on the quarter.
Interesting.
Yeah, as you can. And I think there's some other who could break down a wheel of parm as quick, which Americans always lose because the Italians just
Yeah.
kick our asses.
And nail it.
Yeah. So yeah.
Is
So
there,
I've
like,
never
who
done
can
that.
Eat the cheese the fastest.
There's probably a competition for that. There's probably a cheese eating competition.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, but yeah, anybody who just loves cheese can be a cheesemonger.
That's pretty
So,
cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Next job. I'm not joking. All right.
So, what would you say is your favorite cheese?
So I feel like that's a hard, that's a difficult question. So Jonathan and I do have a similar, I won't give away, I'll let him say
Yeah, don't
his.
take it.
I have a list here of several,
Okay.
because I feel like
You can't pick one.
you can't pick one, and there are many categories of cheese. So I really like. I'm trying to narrow it down too. So there's a cheese called Abbé de Belloc, which is a Basque sheep smoked cheese that's based on like a 3,000-year-old recipe that Benedictine monks have been making since the 13th, 15th, 13th century, and you can't get it in the U.S. anymore because the FDA wanted to, at least temporarily, the FDA wanted to come in and regulate, and they were like, "We're good, America. We've been doing this for hundreds of years, thousands, and we're just not going to, we're not going to let you import anymore."
Right.
So now I can't get it. So now it's even
Oh,
more
man.
my favorite cheese. And then maybe like Ampoise is really kind of a classic French wash rind cheese. I don't know if it's still the case, but it used to be banned on public transportation because it was so stinky.
Oh, that's
I
funny.
hope
a
that's
good
still the
story.
case.
Good.
Yeah.
It's really good though.
I hope that's still the case. Yeah, Ampoise de Bourgogne, so it's from Burgundy. It's really nice. And then I want to say yours, but I won't. There's a Swiss kind of Gruyere style called a Hallerhocker. Hallerhocker, depends who you talk to. And it's just a really nutty, nice Swiss, being like Gruyere style Swiss cheese. A little bit of holes, a little bit of Swiss kind
Right.
of what everybody thinks of Swiss cheese. And then I just really love young goat cheeses, Loire cheves, American fresh cheves, and then Parmesan. Parmigiano Reggiano is
Yeah.
one of my favorite cheeses because it's so umami packed, and it's just awesome. So
Nice.
I don't know. I feel like the
That's
list
a-
could keep going.
Right,
so
but that's a great list to get me started.
Yeah.
Like, well, not all of them. The ones that are banned, can't travel with.
that one we can't. Well, I think you can actually. Well, you might ask your customs officer if you try to bring it through. But I think you can bring a little piece, and they're like, "That's fine," if you ever go. So,
Alright.
but there are other substitutes that we can get. But they're just,
Not as good.
they're definitely. There's so many cheeses out there. They're definitely as good. Just in my heart, they're not because I can't get it anymore. So,
Right.
yeah.
What's your favorite, Jonathan?
My favorite, thank you for not saying it, is it's a cheese called Oma out of Vermont, and it's part of the lineage of the Von Trapp family from Sound of Music fame.
Okay.
I think it's the great-grandchildren or grandchildren.
I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I would assume.
Think-
I'm not
Sebastian
good.
Von Trapp is his
Yeah.
the cheesemaker's name.
Chronologically speaking, I have no idea.
Okay.
But I know that it's a really, really, really good cheese. It's like a brie-style cheese. It's super
It's a washed
buttery.
rind.
Wash rind.
Yeah.
And it's this is every day. And
What is
I
the
just know that I
difference
love
between
it.
a brie style and a wash?
Go to Crosby.
Sure. So it's going to be the culture that's in the cheese. So brie, camembert, those have a certain type of culture that kind of make the white or gray kind of rind on it.
Right.
And so a washed rind cheese is actually washed physically, like smeared or kind of dunked in a brine maybe. of a culture called B. linens, Brevibacteria linens, and it's got like a red color. And so Taleggio, Oma, like he talked about, Epoise, like I mentioned, are going to be wash-rind cheeses, and they're going to have that funk to them.
Okay.
So funky.
Yeah. It's just
Funky.
good. And then lately, we've been making at one of the restaurants a cheese best described as Fior di Capra, which is a super, super fresh goat cheese. So we get goat cheese from a ranch out in Arcadia, or goat's milk, pretty consistently. And we've just been making it's almost like a ricotta style cheese. And it's super, super, super grassy. And I just love that. So we've been doing it on pizzas and just playing with it in R&D. And
Like you make it yourself?
yeah, we make it ourselves.
Nice.
And ricotta is actually pretty easy to make. It might be easier than pasta, just FYI.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. And it's just, I love it because I know where the milk's coming from. I've helped, my kids have helped milk the goats. Like, you know, we go out and I go to that ranch about once a week, once every other week to check on things. And there's that whole part of making it that makes it super special. Like, compared to like really good Fior di Capra from Italy, I don't know if it's any good, but to me, it's just something special that we make.
Right.
It's good because it's handmade.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you got to
Yeah.
have good milk to have good cheese.
Right. That
can't
makes
have-
sense.
yeah.
And so we're really diving into this cheese talk because on Croûte you can purchase cheese like to go, like a cheese shop.
Yeah, we have a cheese counter,
Yeah.
as well as get it on a board in the restaurant. It's on our menu, but you can also, we do by the pound, quarter pound, half pound, all of our meats and cheeses.
I thought
So-
that was like one of the first time I went. I loved that aspect of it so much.
Yeah.
You don't see that.
Yeah,
it's cool.
we try to cut to order because you can get pre-cut cheese at a lot of places, and so we try to. I mean, the idea also is that you tried something that, like the brie Nabil that you said you really liked. You're like, I would like to get a quarter pound of that to
Yeah.
take home. Somebody pops over and they just get it to go. So yeah,
I
super
think that's
simple.
really cool.
Yeah.
So your cheese offerings, at, the cheese counter, do they differ from week to week or month to month?
Sure. So they do. So we've got on the board, we've got the chalkboard there that's got the board of the day or the cheesemonger's choice. And the board of the day usually has like a theme. We try to do like maybe all Spanish, just so people can get like a variety. All goat, maybe in different ages and different styles. And then the cheesemonger's choice is kind of what's ripe, what's in season, what's à point, as they say, like what's ready to go, à point. So yeah, but like there's a cheese called Winnemere that is actually aged by the same people that aged the Oma, Jasper Hill, and in Vermont, and they make a cheese that's based off of a cheese that's called Vacherin that we can't get in this country because it's raw milk under a certain age. And they only make it with winter milk. So it'll come out, I believe it's spring. It's pretty young. You have to pre-order it, and we'll get that, put it on the board, and once it's gone, it's gone.
Oh, man.
And there's also a goat cheese made by Fromagerie La Muse in Holland. It's called Black Betty. And it's kind of an aged, it is an aged goat Gouda, and you definitely have to pre-order that one. And you get a wheel, and once it's gone, it's gone. So, but a lot of cheeses you can get year-round. It kind of depends on the gestation of the animal and who's making it and how often, and yeah.
No, I totally learned something new. I mean, if I'm going to be a cheesemonger, I need to know these things. I didn't know.
There's a lot to it.
I mean, I can't even pronounce half the stuff that you're saying. But I didn't know that cheese could be seasonal, but you explaining that, it makes complete sense.
You know what I was thinking while you were kind of explaining we can't get some of the cheeses? Wonder if there's a cheese black market.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
I don't know
There's some
anything
black
about
market
that.
stuff out there?
She doesn't know anything about
Anything
that.
about that.
I will say there are some cheeses. I wouldn't say black market. Well, the first time Crosby and I did a cheese thing together, I got deathly sick.
No,
I think it was the cheese. we judged. This was way before on Croûte.
yeah.
Her and I judged the cheese competition at the State Fair of Oklahoma.
She's making competition. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Homemade cheese.
Yeah, it was a thing for me.
Oh.
It wasn't a thing for me.
I,
Next day, he was like, I'm so sick. It was the cheese. And I was like,
it was like both ends sick.
Because
and I'm
you
like, it had to be the cheese.
That's
Oh man.
because there aren't any rules. You
right.
just
No,
make it.
they just find two suckers to eat all of it.
But
Right.
I
That was
was
us.
One, two.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm having a cheese making competition. Any judges for?
Yeah. You guys can eat this stuff. Where's it from? Yeah, around.
Around.
This person, he made it.
Yeah.
I was really impressed though. I mean,
Some were really good.
but they were all made by the same two people.
There was like
Remember?
one, I feel like.
Okay, there was a couple, and it was clear. It was supposed to be anonymous. But it was clear that they
Very
made
clear.
all the cheeses, and they both made their own version of it.
Oh.
And so I told him I could guess which was made by whom, because I don't know. You can just tell somehow.
Like
Right.
who would
Made-
make what type of cheese?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but they entered one in every category. It was impressive.
Wow.
But I feel like more people should go for that. I mean,
Right.
it's pretty cool. But
Wow. I wouldn't want to be the one that gets everyone sick.
you don't have a weak stomach.
No,
You
I don't.
can't.
Yeah.
I was fine.
And I don't have a weak stomach.
No.
But
That's
Ugh.
You know, something else that I think complemented the cheese for me was the bread.
yeah.
That bread was fantastic.
Y'all,
Okay.
y'all make that in house?
yeah, so now when we started, we made it all in house, and it's still the same baker and the same pastry chef. What we've done is we built a kitchen offsite that could really handle the needs. It kind of came at us like a tidal wave when we
Yeah.
opened, and we were like, this is going to be an issue because we basically tried to take a whole baking kitchen and a whole restaurant kitchen and smash it into like 300 square feet, and it didn't work really well. I mean, we
Right.
got through it, and props to all the people that we work with that got through it with us. And so now we've built a larger kitchen that has like proper baking ovens and deck ovens and everything they need to be able to do it and properly proof everything. So in my opinion, it's gotten better now that we have the ability to
That
do that.
makes sense, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but her name is Chelsea Berry. She's in her third trimester, so and still baking bread.
Way to go.
Yeah, she's awesome. So yeah, she from day one, she's been the one in charge of all the baked
Yeah.
stuff and still does it. And I mean, the place is like 3 blocks from the restaurant, so
That's
it's not like
perfect.
No, nice.
yeah, so it's still just as fresh as when it came out of the restaurant. So
Yeah.
Is that going to be the same bread that goes to some of your other concepts?
So it's not they do produce bread for other restaurants. It's obviously different. I don't like to it's like anything in life. Whenever you make a copy of something, it's the resolution's always a little bit off.
Right.
So I think trying to copy what we've accomplished on Croûte, at least within this city, would kind of be silly.
Yeah.
We're not in Miami or in New York where there's millions upon millions of people.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I mean, I think Dallas alone is like 2 or 3 times the size of the state of Oklahoma.
I think we have 1 million people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So and Dallas has 7. So it's like, you know, I love it because it's special and it's unique. And one of the things that we like to do is make nooks and make moments. And I think that's what we've done with On Croûte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So we're
like
not gonna
that.
do
That's
anything else with it.
really well put.
Yeah, I don't want
Create
to.
nooks
I mean, the
and
other
moments.
restaurant's like 200 feet away.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
you don't want to also cannibalize ourselves. with,
Yeah.
Right, right.
you know, so
And that other restaurant is fantastic as well,
thank you.
which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Well,
can get into whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Man. 6'2". Get
So
serious.
I feel like this is kind of a good segue to how did or where did the inspiration for On Croûte come from? Like, how did that whole idea transpire?
I want to hear your version. I think they're probably incredibly similar, but
Yeah. I mean, from what I remember,
we should talk about Robbie.
Yeah, you and I and Robbie, who's my partner, boyfriend, husband, guy, whatever.
You're loved,
Please.
Robbie.
Yeah.
Robbie.
Her love.
We met at Ford Foods, so we met at the cheese shop.
Okay.
And then we both did a little stint in the oil and gas industry, and so 2015 there was kind of a downturn in that, and also we were like,
Yeah.
so we still love cheese, and so
Naturally.
I wanted to do something in cheese, but didn't know like retail, full on retail. Would that be a thing? Would that be good? And then you guys go way back.
Yeah, Robbie and I, we met in 6th grade.
Okay.
if I'm accurate in sports.
In sports.
In sports. Not that we're really good at sports. I think Robbie was better at sports, but
You did them.
yeah, we did sports, and then we did school, and we did a lot of other things, good and bad. But we did a lot of great moments, and that's how I got to know Crosby.
Yeah.
And when she just mentioned 2015 ish, Robbie and I he loves food, so when we'd hang out, we'd always talk about. You just kind of throw shit out there, just talking about ideas and who knows, and it's usually just for fun. And this one had legs. It was, I don't know if Robbie mentioned to me, I'm honestly kind of unclear on it, but it kind of led to this, what became on Croûte, which was, she was thinking about doing a little cheese shop.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, there's this cheese shop that I went to in Europe that I loved, and I loved the feel of it. And the ideas kind of melded together. And then one of our other partners, who's a silent partner in it, had come to me about it. It all just kind of came together kind of quite naturally.
Nice.
At that point in time. And then, of course, there was tweaks along the way, like the name and all that stuff.
Of course.
And then it became what it is.
But I think the idea was a place that could be open all day.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a coffee, like you said, pastry,
Right.
avocado omelet, something, and then you can come back for lunch, or you could stay. I mean, we don't close, so we're open all day. Stay through lunch. We do happy hour. We do dinner. We do late night.
All right. What time do y'all close?
We close at 11. The kitchen closes at 10:30. But
Yeah.
11. So and we're 7 days a week. So every day we're there.
Nice.
So yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, when we were
Yeah.
there, I saw someone with their laptop, and I was like,
Yeah.
this would be a cool place to like come and
Yeah.
chill, eat, work, spend your day.
Yeah, it's just super comfortable.
And as you guys saw, the tables are movable, so you can do solo, you can do small group, you can do big group. You
Yeah.
can kind of do whatever.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, we got people there's that counter up front. We have a lot of people, like the breakfast folks, will come in, sit at the counter, almost diner style.
Yeah.
Order, eat it, roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
No,
it's like, I just need to come get my food.
It's
Yeah.
like a little bit upscale diner style.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I think the first time I ate there, it was dinner, but we did sit at the counter, and I was just like drooling all over the cheese. No, not really, but
You can still sell the cheese.
it's
not
but
contaminated.
I was like really, really intrigued with it. So I like it. I think it's really cool, and that's a great story of kind of how
Yeah.
your two.
It just kind of happened. I don't really remember.
It just kind of happened, because then we were like, are we going to be able to get money to do this? And then like, we all got some money.
Oh yeah.
Like, it won't be that bad. And then we did it. And then, Crosby and Robbie live very close to Nichols Hills. We kind of looked a lot of different places, but the little nook we found, Nichols Hills Plaza, just made sense.
Yeah.
And at the time, Nichols Hills Plaza was kind of,
It's kind of empty.
it was flat. I mean, there wasn't a lot of energy, and it's obviously changed. And so we were grateful, to pay the rent we pay now as opposed to the new people's rent.
Right.
I can vouch for that shit. But it's,
What
but
year did y'all open?
December 2016.
Okay.
so,
So right into 2017. Yeah.
yeah, it just fit what we were going for.
Yeah.
you know?
Cool.
So we talked about one side of En Croûte.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the other one, cooking.
The food side.
The food side.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm following you.
You're like, wait,
I was
what
like-
side? What are you talking about?
I was like, where's it going with this?
So Jonathan, where does your passion and background for cooking?
I mean, you have an
come from?
extensive culinary background, so
Yeah, I didn't, you get a lot of stories that are about, growing up, and, maybe your mother was a great cook. I love my mother. When I was a kid, she couldn't cook at all. Basically, I got started cooking, I don't even know why I call it that, in high school, just got to have a job. So I was like the little stoner kid cooking her sandwiches at City
okay,
Bites.
all right.
Sorry, but worked at Pearl's, and that was just a job in high school. It was nothing more than that. And then I moved to New York in 2000, and New York is crazy expensive, and I needed a job, and I really couldn't get a job unless I had experience. The only thing I had was restaurants.
Right.
And worked at a restaurant called Balthazar, which a lot of people know of, like the Balthazar French Bistro. That's not the one that I worked at. It was a horrible little jazz club in Washington Square Park. The daughter was the chef. Her dad owned this little jazz club. They were super nice to me. and got me a job at a restaurant called John George in New York City. And that's where the passion for food began, because forever it was just a job. And this was like, what is this?
Right.
You know, it was I was a lowly prep cook student, you know, poor, so poor. I mean, like I got taller after high school, so the pants I left with by like a year later were like high waters. So I had to roll them up and like look kind of hip, but in reality I was just, you know,
wearing the capris.
and that's where the pageantry of, you know, it was a Michelin 3-star restaurant, and I knew a little bit about that going into it. And I mean, it was like it's like a ballet or an orchestra every night, that sort of food. And then you have that clientele, and then there was the lifestyle, and I just kind of fell head over heels for it there. And then my culinary career went up, and my student career went way down. Like 0.3, I think, is where I left school at. And I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I ended up going to a culinary school. I mean, I don't use any of it now, but and then just kind of continued on that career. And this was back in the day when you didn't have social media or smartphones. Like if you wanted to learn about something, you had to go. So I spent just over 6 years in New York City, but in that time got the opportunity to work in Europe. After New York, a little stint in Houston, the wine country of Oregon, and then I'll call it a life event. Brought me back. Well, no, it wasn't a life event. I went to drug and alcohol treatment. And then after that, they're like, you should probably not be in restaurants for a while. And I was like, but that's what all the... And so they're like, that's the problem for you. And so I came back here and started working. It was a friend of my mother's was starting a little organic farm in El Reno. So I had honestly had no intention on staying in Oklahoma. It was, I'm going to chill, get my shit together, work on this farm, and that'll be it. And I'll go back to New York, wherever I'm going to go. And what happened when I worked on the farm was we started growing like all this stuff and this guy was like, what? I don't even know what this is. And I was like, we're just going to grow it. It's amazing. You're going to love it. And it was. And what was amazing was we went to the farmer's market and people wouldn't buy it. And he's like, what are we going to do? No one's buying what you said to grow. And I'm like, dude, it'd be easy. We'll go to the restaurants. So we went to the restaurants and they didn't want to buy it. And I was like, what is happening?
Was it?
Just
Vegetables?
Just vegetables from the farm.
Really?
So, I mean, it wasn't anything like, you know, some made up creature of a vegetable. It was like fennel. And so I was like,
It was fennel.
yeah. And I was like, why? What's happening here? So I realized that in my mind, the food world that I was living in had kind of caught up everywhere because at the time, what you're reading, which is books and magazines, you didn't have, you know, Twitter or whatever to look through. I just assumed, because I left here in 2000 and didn't come back till, what was it, 08, 09? And so I was like, I just assumed that
Oklahoma was weird.
I just assumed the culinary scene would have advanced, and not that it hadn't. It just hadn't advanced as far. So, started a little thing called Table One, which is long gone, to see if, well, maybe let's just start cooking the food ourselves. That's what it was. Like, you know what? No one's gonna buy it. We'll just get a little thing, and it was you came to that, didn't you, with Robbie? I know Robbie came.
He came, yeah.
And you know, there's like 10 people, and you could get a seat, and you know that was it. And we did like one dinner a week, and then 2, then 3, and then 4, and then that led to the birth of what was Ludivine, and then and then things have just kind of gone crazy since then. Is the best way of putting it. But yeah, to say my passion for it always was, it's the best part about cooking is the people you get to work with and knowing the ingredient, and that's why that part of it's so important to me. It's like every time I go in a kitchen, I see someone just throw something away. You can get into food costs and the business side of it, which that's a problem. But the biggest issue is, for me, like if you look at something as simple and inexpensive seafood-wise as mussels, well, there's the way we order and what we do is there's a family literally out there making a living raising those mussels. They're making sure the water's clean. They're making sure, checking the trace minerals. They're making sure they're going to have the flavor they want. Then they go out and literally rake them to get them up. Which takes it is so hard if you've ever tried to do it. Like you have to have like 4 arms. And then you do that, they baggage them up. Then they have to carefully package them, ship them to you as fast as they can, a lot of times absorbing that cost. And then they get them to your kitchen, and it's our job to continue that path of caring for them. So when I see something on the floor, it drives me insane because these people are literally making a living on this, so respect the ingredient. And so we try to do that with all the ingredients we do, because what's nice about cooking in Oklahoma is, well, it's multifold, but one thing that's nice about it is people are so willing to try something new. Like we just talked about gas station sushi and how good it is, and willing to try things like that. But you have such a great connection to the land here because you can be in downtown Oklahoma City and drive 10 minutes in almost any direction. You're in the country.
Right.
I mean, that's why I get to live in the country because it's not that far.
Yeah.
So I love that you can have that connection and then working with young cooks to bring them to that connection because at the end of the day, this is a people business and you're serving people. And a lot of people always say this, the customer is always right, which you can say what you want about that. But to me, hospitality, it has to start in your restaurant first. If you're not taking care of and creating positive moments for the people that you work with, there's no way it's going to translate out to the guest. It might be a manufactured joy, which, not to knock the places that do it, because believe me, I would love the revenues of a cheesecake factory. But, it's that kind of standard script at every table. And I don't think restaurants should be that way. That's how we love creating moments. I love for them to be this authentic unique thing for each person when they're at the table. And, it's a human business. So sometimes we're dead on, we don't miss. And sometimes we miss. But that's just part of being human and working with a natural resource.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's really what I love about what I get to do for a living. And it's changed. Over the years, now it's a whole different role for me that I'm getting used to.
Yeah.
It's weird, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's very cool. So with on Croûte's menu, do you locally source a lot of like your produce or meats?
I would say a strong amount is. It's definitely not 100%. The menu would have to change every day.
Right.
And I can tell you personally that is a lot of work.
Right.
And I love it. And I love
done that
everything.
before.
Yeah,
right?
I did it. But now I have like children that I want to see grow up.
Right.
And so,
you want to be able to feed them.
Yeah, feed them and all that. But I would say third, depending on the time of year. In the spring, it's more spring, summer, fall, early fall, it's more. And then the winter, it dies down a little bit. But I'd say on average, probably 30-40%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I grow some of our, a lot of our herbs that we use in the kitchen. We've got a big herb garden and just cut the, that's not a big percentage, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very cool. I like that. I come from a family of farmers, and my dad has a huge garden in Newcastle, and my mom and stepdad also have a garden. My uncle in East Texas has sweet potato patches and watermelon patches that he ships off all around the U.S. So I've been raised with you grow your own vegetables, and my dad's also a hunter. So growing up in the country, you grow and catch and fish for all your food. And until we moved to Houston, that's pretty much what we did was lived off of what we grew and caught. Houston was a bit of a eye-opener.
A little bit of a change?
Yeah.
We've both had eye-opening experiences.
For sure. It's like, what? The store has more than Kool-Aid? Like, what? I thought we only got Kool-Aid and toilet paper from the grocery store.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
So obviously the menu is not changing every day.
No.
But how often do you change the menu? Do you come up with new items? I mean, I'm sure you're thinking about new things all the time, but how often do you implement them into the menu? Because that's a whole different thing.
I have it a couple times a year, I would say. We've been changing it. It's, let me put it this way. So there's things on the menu like the burger or the avocado omelet, and we'll get into like what the favorites are, that I think if we took them off the menu, it'd be a little bit of an uproar.
Right.
And
we
so
never do a full menu change.
Yeah, we never do a full menu change, but we're always kind of recirculating and rethinking different in dishes. We just redid I'm sure we'll talk about, we just redid the St. Mark's menu and changed how we do that. And so you're always kind of tweaking and changing. And in the back of the house, in the kitchen, we change things actually more than you would perceive as a guest, because you're always working on a recipe. Like there's no such thing as perfection. So you're always trying to get better.
Yeah.
And so you'll tweak a little thing here, tweak a little thing there, and until you really, really nail it. And then sometimes you just can't. And then when it's time to, we'll evaluate the menu and then we change it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
And there's some things that like we'll put on the menu that we love. And nobody, my favorite dish was the first one gone, which was the salmon rillette with the harissa.
The salmon rillette was great.
I loved it.
What was it?
It's a salmon rillette, which is like, this is a horrible way. It's a fish spread. It's a delightful fish spread.
Nobody got into
Bread?
Yeah.
Fish. It's a spread of cooked fish.
Oh.
And you basically, a rillette is
good.
a form of, charcuterie, and it's sealed, and you keep it with fat on top. So it was salmon that had been poached and pureed, and seasoned and spiced with herbs and all this great stuff. And then Captain Duck fat, and then you take that and smear it. Then we did a homemade harissa, which is this kind of North African Spanish condiment. It's spicy, but it has a lot of depth, and nobody liked it. Nobody ordered it.
Nobody ordered it.
Because it's hard to be like, what is this? It's a delightful spread of fish.
Right.
Fish and
they're like-
and the spice that you've probably not tried yet.
Yeah, exactly.
like,
Here's some
"I'll
things you
take
don't
the
know, and you're
burger."
going to spread it. And they're like, I'll do the burger. So that was gone quite quickly.
Yeah.
But you can't hold on stuff like that.
Right. So, from what is currently on the menu, what would you say is a menu item that you either most enjoy or you're most proud of?
I'm really loving, actually, it's one of our newer menu items that we added this last go around. It's the black and red fish
Yeah, I
with
love
the
black and red fish.
shrimp creole sauce and beet risotto.
Yeah.
And carrots.
Oh, I bet we recently had beet risotto. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love that dish, and it is a newer dish to the menu. I say that it's not that new.
It's new.
In April?
No, you had
It's
me at
new.
beet risotto.
Yeah.
that-
Yeah.
When we have a cookbook club and someone made a beet risotto, and it was definitely the favorite
Yeah.
thing. I had no idea.
It
y'all
looks
had that.
Beautiful
stunning.
and tasty.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gorgeous. It's
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous.
So what would you say yours is?
Man, I don't know. It depends on my mood. But my favorite thing actually is we have that omelet. It's with lobster and Bresson cheese. I don't know. It's just rich. It's dirty. It just screams like this little bistro breakfast dish to me. And it's just so damn good. And I don't even like lobster, like in general.
Really?
That much
But-
me either.
Yeah,
Funny.
and
I like
I'm
it.
not a big lobster person, but I just really, really, really like that omelet. And I love the burger. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an amalgamation of ideas. Like, I don't know, like what the ketchup is homemade on it,
Yeah.
with sorghum, from here in Oklahoma. And we call it burger mess in the kitchen because I don't know what it is. And
it
like,
is
I know like a lot about condiments and I
Right.
don't know what to call this, but it's like onions and sherry vinegar and
Is
sherry
this what
wine
the
and
ketchup
pancetta.
is?
No, this is that bacony onion thing that's on
Oh,
there.
yeah.
It's not a
Okay.
jam. It's not a chutney. It's not I don't know what it is. And it's like somewhere between like a compote and an agrodolce with bacon and onions in it. And it's just good.
Yeah.
I don't know, and then it's got the taleggio, which is like,
The Taleggio
yeah, and then
cheese,
Wagyu
yeah.
beef. It's just good.
Yeah.
And brioche buns are like, oh. But
Right.
I sadly have not been able to eat that in quite some time. So
Giving up the old carbs.
yeah, dude. I mean, I feel great. I cheat. I totally cheat, but I do feel great.
It's also got the house-made blackberry ketchup.
Yeah.
You did say that.
That's
Yes.
the blackberry
And
ketchup.
that's,
Yeah.
that's always fun, especially for people that aren't quite sure about it.
Well, we had a very serious discussion at the table.
About, yeah.
Is this ketchup?
It's
Yeah.
ketchup. It is defined as a
Yeah,
ketchup.
it's delicious. We weren't sure. Like,
Is this guy?
is this
What
the
is
ketchup?
it? Yeah, I hate. It doesn't mean anything's wrong with it or anything wrong with anybody that likes it. I just don't like ketchup. To me, it's so sweet.
I wouldn't put it on a burger.
No, I don't like ketchup,
I
but
don't know
we're like, well, we're gonna have ketchup. So we're like, let's just make our own ketchup.
We're gonna have to have ketchup.
Well, we're in Oklahoma. We gotta have ketchup. So it's like, all right,
Some sort of ketchup.
let's make a ketchup. And so we just started working on a ketchup. And blackberries are plentiful here. When they're ripe, they're everywhere, and you can generally get them year round and get good quality with blackberries year round because they're pretty evasive species, so they're easy to grow. So we knew we'd be able to get them. We're like, all right, let's just try it, and it worked out.
Yeah.
It gives it a little tartness.
Yeah,
To it,
yeah,
which is
it was
nice.
Yeah, and
definitely
it's got,
like
like,
something
the-
that you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
Right. It's got
Yeah.
like the dark, jammy color
Yeah, the
to
color.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
We like purple, beet risotto.
Yeah.
black
Yeah.
risotto.
Right. There's a trend.
Mm-hmm.
We enjoyed it, but yeah, we definitely debated.
Yeah, people are
Over
confused. They're
that.
like, "Are you sure they gave you the ketchup? Let's ask them if they gave you the ketchup."
I asked for more
Yeah.
ketchup, and we got more.
I'm like,
all right. I mean, it is the ketchup. I like it.
Yeah.
I just we weren't totally sure.
That's
but
funny.
yeah. What is a menu item that if somebody is coming for the first time that you would recommend?
for which.
Okay,
meat,
let's.
which-
How about you do dinner, you do brunch.
So should I go first? Because I'm first.
Yeah,
Like you would eat.
first
Brunch.
meal.
You would eat
of
what
the
I
day.
would pick first. So I'm gonna say something that you can have all the time too. So
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
if you
yeah.
want like
We
a
have quite a
really
few of those.
there's a lot that translates throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've never been to a place kind of like a little French bistro, I would actually probably recommend the Croûte plate because you get great charcuterie, Crosby's selection of cheeses, there's greens, there's bread, there's jam. Like it kind of gives you everything, and it's great for breakfast and lunch.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I would recommend, which is also one of my favorites, is the mushrooms on toast.
Mm-hmm.
That thing's just like umami bomb.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit of a nap maker, but it is delicious. It's
Gosh,
got
I can't
There's
believe I
truffle.
haven't had
it's
it.
like
truffle
Yeah,
truffles
I mean,
and
it's like
Parmesan
me.
and cream and toast, and it's just everything good in one. It's good. It's really good.
That sounds good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe I haven't had that. No one recommended that to me.
You didn't see it on the menu?
I mean, I don't.
It doesn't sound like you're like mushrooms on
Yeah,
toast,
mushrooms on toast. You're like, all right, let's.
and you're like,
Yeah.
what
Keep
the
reading, yeah.
is this?
Yep.
And it is delicious.
That sounds good. What would you say, Crosby?
I'm gonna do what you did and say two things because I think it's kind of a tie. Definitely the cheeseburger.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, Nabil, because people aren't maybe expecting to get a burger there, and they definitely should. And then I really like the cordon bleu, and I think they should try that.
Yeah.
We have a chicken cordon bleu that's just great. Olives, artichoke come with it. What does that have a name? What's it called?
The bagel?
Say that into the.
Barracool. and we gotta give it up while we're here. The chef Kevin Ward that's doing all this right now, like he takes amazing direction and he executes so well. I mean, I can
killing
honestly
it.
say that like the food at Croûte now is the best it's been since we've opened. I mean, like any restaurant, you kind of people come and go,
Right.
but he is a super solid dude. It's very creative, and how much he cares for it comes out. Like chicken cordon bleu, you're like, can't you get that like in the microwave section? Like you can, but real chicken cordon bleu when done really well is phenomenal, and he does a great job with all he
does.
does. He
Yeah,
does.
we had the pleasure of meeting him. He was a cool
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, he was.
He's got this like Marco Pierre White look about him. If you're familiar with who Marco Pierre White is, if you're not, look him up. He was like the first real like rock star celebrity chef, and it's like a doppelganger. It's not why I hired him.
And he and I are.
That's not
I don't want to say that because I think he might think that. I bring it up way too often.
Did I ever tell you about that time? He's like, I know. You've told me before.
And he and I are sort of related.
Oh, yeah?
He's
That was weird.
he is Robbie's sister's husband's brother.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Nice.
Keep it in the family.
Okay, where's this going?
Sister's husband's brother. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
correct,
I got
yeah.
it right. Yeah.
Yeah, and he is a very talented guy, and we're lucky to have him.
Yes, absolutely.
So you had kind of mentioned the St. Mark's Chop Room. I don't think either one of us has been there yet. So tell us a little about that.
Yeah, so St. Mark's Chop Room started. It's actually so it was named after our partner Drew Tickell's father, Mark, who passed away 3 years ago today of cancer, which is actually what brought Drew back from Oklahoma from Seattle. And so the original idea was to do this chop room thing, and we worked with that for a while, and it was doing good. We were using a really high quality Wagyu beef from a local rancher, and it was hard to keep up. So we recently changed the menu with Kevin, and I think it's better than it's ever been. So it's it's a higher end restaurant. If you think on Croûte small, St. Mark's is small.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of this little moment, tucked away next door. And Kevin oversees the menu on that side. We just redid it, kind of went a little bit of a different direction from the chop room, and went with kind of like classic New American cuisine, twisted a little bit, and then threw in some like, I love ethnic food, so we kind of threw in some twist to it as well. We'll see how it goes. I feel like every time I do this somewhere, people are like, I don't know what you're saying. And, but it's
Elaborate.
it's phenomenal. Yeah. Well, like, okay, I'll elaborate. So like there's a dish called bagna cauda that he's done that is so good with cellulac. And what it is bagna cauda it basically means it's a way of saying hot bath in Italy. And it's served like a dip. Think of like queso, but vegetable based. So super traditionally, it's potato based. So it's warm, very thin potato puree with a lot of olive oil and garlic, and you dip like bread into it.
Yeah.
And he does it with a celiac puree and anchovy, and it is. I
So
love
good.
that
So
one.
good.
I don't think people know what bagna cauda is.
No, they
No.
don't.
But
I
it's
didn't.
when you
But they
try it,
will.
oh man,
They
it's
will
it's
know.
it.
Nice.
It's everything. Yeah.
It's very good. Yeah.
Sounds really good.
Yeah.
very good.
It's got it hits all the notes.
Yeah.
I think
And-
there's
Fitting it.
I think there's one day we need to go to on Croûte
Yeah.
and St. Mark's and just sit there the whole day.
Yeah.
And just keep eating.
And everything comes out of the same kitchen. We share a kitchen, so it's made right there.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Restaurants. so,
Perfect.
Yeah.
yeah.
Know what we're doing
I-
Saturday.
I mean, I can't believe, and I didn't work the kitchen. I can't believe the kitchen used to be half the size that it is now because it's already small.
Now you gotta get creative.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the
hard
nicest way of saying what we had to do. Yeah, I mean it's in
Close quarters.
in the beginning there was 6-7 of us in that kitchen. I mean how Crosby and I are sitting right now. Like put 2 more people in this office with us, and then
That's
cook for an entire restaurant
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
and bake for it. Like it was great.
It was-
That's
It
crazy.
was
It
tiny.
was
It's still
great.
tiny.
It was the best. Everyone got to know each other really well.
yeah.
Like I know your smells.
And you still like each other?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're still good.
That's amazing.
That's the true test.
Yeah, it's a really good story. So I think, is there anything that we missed about En Croûte that we haven't touched on?
Yeah, anything else you want to say before we go to the kitchen
The
sink?
kitchen sink.
We do 4th of July cheese and charcuterie boards for parties
Ooh, okay.
or for any occasion, but that's the one that's coming up.
Dang, we didn't know about that. We just did our 4th of July episode,
Yeah.
but
And this episode won't be out in time.
It's
Right.
okay.
Draft.
Yeah, we always do
but
the big
for,
boards to go,
different holidays year round.
Oh yeah.
Cookouts. We do it in the summer because more people are outside.
Right.
Especially, weekend cookouts and that sort of thing.
But I even imagine like around like Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
and-
Thanksgiving
We
and
do, yeah.
Christmas.
We do it
that's-
all. I
That's
mean,
when
and if you go to I think it's on the website, there's tons of different baked goods you can get now that we have a full kitchen. Like you can order any of the stuff we have, plus more all the time.
Like the bread.
Oh, yeah.
bread,
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah, yeah.
scones, muffins. We do pastry trays, and you can order
Wedding
baguettes.
cakes.
Wedding cakes.
And
cheesecake
Crosby, yeah, I'm going to
dinners.
blow her up. She does this like tiered cheesecake. Wedding cake? It's not cheesecake. Like,
It's made of wheels of cheese.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
so-
dope.
Have you ever seen
Yeah,
those?
yeah,
Those
it's
are-
super cool.
All right, so
Those
it's
are
like
really
a diaper
fun.
cake, but with
I don't know what
cheese.
that means.
I know what it means.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
different than what
Yes.
I just said. But I don't know what you're
That's not what I was picturing when I was saying
Yeah,
this.
I know. You're thinking for the applause again.
And we,
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I was like, what?
It's not what it sounds like.
Not
No,
as
no,
appetizing
no.
as cheese, though.
No. of
Yeah,
course
and
not.
they're really fun. Some people will do them as like a groom's cake or the main main cake,
Cake
wedding
made of
cake
cheese.
made of
Cake
cheese.
cheese. Yeah.
Yes. I think we've done some for like bridal shower cakes.
Yeah.
So it's really fun, and you
I love
decorate them
that.
just like you would a regular cake. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fun.
All right, let's jump into the kitchen sink questions. So
Let's
these
do
are
it.
going to be more rapid fire.
Go.
You guys can each answer, and then we'll go to the next one.
Start it off.
All right. If you were asked to showcase one ingredient, what would you choose? Either one.
For what?
One.
Yeah, what am I doing?
Like
I need a scenario.
Your favorite one ingredient. That's the one ingredient. If somebody said pick any one ingredient to showcase and make something with it, what would you choose and what would you make?
I mean,
Time of day is not a
Not a-
question.
No.
Yeah. Like you can say I would make this for bread.
I could name the ingredient, and then you could come up with what we make with it.
What?
I'm not the chef partner.
No, I would say. So right now, man, my favorite ingredient I'm working with right now, I would actually say, which I guess is not really an ingredient, it's more of a protein, is goat.
Okay.
I'm like fascinated with goat right now and all the different. It's just an incredibly versatile animal. For people that think like it's like the perfect hybrid, if people are like, oh, lamb's too gamey, then you should eat goat. And
Okay.
you don't think of that. It's obviously incredibly big in ethnic food and all around the world, but I would say goat, and a great dish to start with on goat would be goat roti. And there's different versions of roti. Roti is one of those dishes similar to curry that's kind of traveled throughout the world, based off, honestly, the movement of human beings. So it landed in the Caribbean via the slave trade, came from India, then into Africa, British, and then came over, into the Caribbean. And there's a version, like right now I'm like really about Caribbean cuisine, like deep. The Caribbean cuisine is amazing because you have so many cultures landed in this one spot, and they all brought their culinary heritage and used what they had, which is a lot, just available naturally. So goat roti, the best way to describe it down there, it's almost like it's similar like a burrito, but it's almost like a crepe. How it's wrapped, made with a buckwheat flour. That's how I would show it off if I had to. I'm probably jamming on goat the hardest right now.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
It does.
Yeah, we're in R&D for another one, so we've been playing with goat a lot.
Very cool.
Nice.
Right.
So
Pick an ingredient.
I would say,
Ingredient.
I would say, and I'm not the chef in the room.
Do you,
but
bro.
So this is a really nice time of year to for them to flower, but Russian sage flower, which is edible. I really like it. I adorn it on cheese plates, but in a jam or something in place of sage.
Okay.
I'm really loving those because we're drying some in the kitchen right now to use. I think Kevin's got some plans to use. I'm not sure what he's got planned, but I don't know. What would you use that in? I've used it in a jam recently, but
I mean,
just
flowers
to kind of finish. I mean, they're just so pretty and flavorful, and
I love flowers in vegetables because it brings out the floralness of
Oh, okay.
vegetables, and I also love them in fish because flowers in general are most of them, until you get into the alliums, which are much sharper in flavor, are very delicate. So you want to make sure that you use them, cook with them, put them they're great in cocktails. Put them
cocktail,
in
that would be
something
good.
where the flour won't get destroyed by all the other ingredients, which is very easy to do because their vacuole structure is very large, so they break apart very easily, is what that means. So the water, which contains the flavor, leaves quite quickly. So you want to do it with something delicate. So fish of any kind, generally steamed or poached with flowers, is delicious. Like if I wanted to like chef out on it, like almost with what she said, is if you did, let's take a whitefish that's in season right now that people like. So you take halibut, it's coming in fresh from Alaska right now. The season's open, which is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. So you do halibut, take the sage leaf, do like a little pea stew with it real quick, add some flowers into that, garnish with the flowers, and then do it on top of something super neutral and simple that's going to give some richness to the dish. So we're almost there, but I would probably go with like a sunchoke because you get that nice herbal artichoke flavor in sunchokes, also known as Jerusalem artichokes. Just do like a nice puree on the bottom and let the flower be the star. That way the whole dish is white, and then you have these beautiful flowers.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's what
exactly
I
what
just-
Crosby was
I just put together.
Crosby.
I was just telling you how to do what she was emoting it very
Right.
hard.
Yeah.
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 Well, I'll say if you need any testers for your R&D,
Yeah.
let me know.
Yeah, you say that. So I will. From failure comes great lessons. Let's put it that way. Always.
So, what is something strange you don't like, but most of the people do?
I'm not like used because I saw this question, and I usually am on the opposite side of that
Right.
spectrum
That you
where.
like the strange.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people are
I
like,
feel like
I
I
like
am
this
too.
strange, and people are like, what? I don't even know you could eat that. I'm like, it's so good. So there's
So let's flip it then.
so something like that I really enjoy that people would probably not eat. I was just recently in Spain and had starfish, and starfish is phenomenal.
Really? What would you compare it to?
I
Anything?
can't. It's hard to really. It's somewhere maybe close to octopus-ish in texture or like conch, but I mean it's tough, and you got to cook it right. But it's definitely got a unique flavor. What's beautiful about them is their diet is mainly seaweed
Right.
and saltwater, so the flavor is wonderful. But I think people would be like, I thought you just like dried those out and put them on your wall.
Right.
No, you can totally do that, but you should eat it next time. That would be something. And then crab intestines I'm really into right now.
Oh, weird.
They're just it's like the flavor of crab times like 10,000 in your mouth.
Huh.
Yeah, that's really, really good. It doesn't sound good, but it's really
Right.
good.
Interesting. All right. Which way do you want to take it?
I'm not a picky eater at all, so I don't know. You said you really don't like lobster a whole lot earlier, and I kind of really don't like lobster a whole lot either.
Really?
And I don't know why that is. I'm trying to think of something that I just absolutely
I don't get it.
I can't think of something I absolutely don't like or wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
Well, that's good.
I kind of sort of am okay with lobster.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I think you should try everything once.
Yeah.
You know, it's like with my kids and getting to eat. I'm like, just try it once. If you don't like it, that's fine. Because you don't know until you try it. I think
course.
people look at texture or look at something, and they're like, oh, I'm like, just put it in your mouth.
Right.
And then if you don't like it, spit it out, whatever, or
Yeah.
swallow it. But and there's things that I've tried that I did not like whatsoever. Third stomach was one of those.
Third stomach.
Yeah, because the cows eat and regurgitate. It was the third stomach
third one's not. Yeah.
is not the one you want to try, especially cooked ceviche style, meaning
wow.
Yeah.
it's not cooked. And it was funny because like the flavor of like the marinade, the ceviche, the acid was delicious, but it's really hard to chew.
Yeah.
And it breaks apart like agar would in your mouth. Agar, have you ever had like gone to like not a real Chinese restaurant, but it was like a Chinese restaurant, they have those like jellies they give you at the end. They just kind of break into beads in your mouth. It had that texture, except the beads wouldn't go away. And then the flavor of like the offal and the intestinal flavor and started to come out. And I was like, this is not, it's not ending and it's still here. It's still in my mouth. And I don't know what to do. And it was one of those like counter small places when I was in New York. And I was like, I have to swallow this.
Please don't make me.
Yeah, so I just did it. And then I looked at the person next to me and I was like,
Nope.
I was like, how'd you eat that so fast? And she just looks at me and she goes, I spit into my napkin. I was like, damn, you're smooth.
That's hilarious. This is an easy one. What is your favorite snack food? And this can be anything that you just like to snack on sitting on the sofa.
Cheese and pickles.
Cheese and pickles?
Forever since I was a baby.
Nice.
Cheese and pickles. And like not the like artisanal cheese we're talking about at on Croûte.
Right.
Like mild orange cheddar
All right.
and kosher dill pickles.
Nice. Like sliced? Do you like make
Just
little
chop them.
sandwiches?
No, you just chop them and
Okay.
pop them.
All right.
Yeah.
Chop them and pop
Chop
them.
them and pop them.
What about you, Jonathan?
Ice cream all day
Ice
long.
cream.
Yeah, we talked about earlier.
We did
Like,
talk about ice cream.
I want the worst ice cream for you. So like a Ben and Jerry's, or I like literally will walk through the part of the grocery store and I'm like, who has stuffed the most crap into this pint? That's what I want. Like I mean, I'm all about it and I actually have some. Like I don't want the dairy free or the sugar free.
Right.
I want like dirty, horrible ice cream when I'm on the couch.
With like the long list of ingredients of everything that
Yeah,
they've
like
jammed
if
in
it
that.
has some version of Heath bar in it, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
And I just
Oh,
found
yeah,
a
yeah.
brand Talenti. They have that gelato where they're trying to get into the stuffing it game. And so, yeah, I don't know what the game is, but it appears like everyone's getting in the game. And it's like a layer of gelato and then a layer of like crumbled up cookie and then a layer of gelato and then like a layer of candy. And I'm like,
Wow.
that's my everything.
That's my everything.
It's so good.
This ratio will work for me.
Yeah, I'm like a 50-50 guy.
Yeah.
50-50.
That's awesome.
So, do either of you cook a lot at home?
I don't.
I sort of do. I eat a lot of pasta.
Yeah. Do you make your own?
Well,
Pasta?
we do sometimes, but no, mostly not.
Yeah.
No. I think my favorite way is butter, salt, parm, and pasta.
Nice.
Pretty much. That's it.
All right.
Maybe a little pepper. Maybe some red pepper flakes. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite
That's
thing.
really close to like what I make at home.
Yeah.
If I make it.
It's so good.
Yeah,
and
I don't.
easy and
I don't cook at home.
yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
no, I'm not home. I mean, my wife could tell you, with my work schedule, it's generally I'm cooking dinner and food for other people,
Right.
or
Yeah.
at this stage of my life, guiding others to cook the food for people. So when I get home, it's late. So
Yeah.
usually I'm eating leftovers or bring something home from the restaurant. And nowadays I get a little more time with the family. So what we generally like to do is just get a bunch of people together and grill out and stuff like that. I've got 2 kids, so like when I cook at home, like when we first had them, I would try to like get all chefy with him, and then they were just like, if you need to like humility check as a chef, cook for a 3-year-old. And like try this, like that halibut I described, and he'll go, no. And I'll be like, just take a bite. And he's like, no, I don't like that. And I'm like, and it just reduces and reduces. So usually it's like some sort of medium well. They're getting better though. Like that sushi place that I mentioned, like that I love, Tsubaki, like we can take them there now. They are not quite into raw fish, but they'll eat there and sit down. I mean, my wife could enjoy it.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right,
Nice.
that's a win.
Yeah.
What is your favorite food to get to go?
I always do Thai food.
Yeah.
Pad Thai.
Yes.
I love Tana Thai, and I always get Tana Thai.
What is it?
Tana Thai
Yeah, that's a good spot.
on Main.
Haven't been
Yeah, it's great. You should go.
Okay.
I
love Thai food.
Pad Thai all day.
All right.
Yeah.
I this is the chef in me. I am not a to-go food guy.
Yeah.
For me, it's like food, generally speaking, is best there. And so I don't really do to-go food. Now,
Yeah.
I will say, one of my guilty pleasures, if you want to call it to-go, Carl's Jr. Double Western Bacon
Yeah,
Cheeseburger.
we can call that to
Is
go.
that
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a.
Yeah, I mean, you're
drive-thru.
going. Yeah, it's a drive-through. I fucking love Carl's Jr. And it's interesting, as you go deeper in chefs, you'll find that all chefs have an affinity for some form of fast food. Because when we get off work, especially here in Oklahoma, there's not a lot of late-night
Yeah.
places. Like when I lived in
Right.
New York, you could still get anything. So here it's like, well, what do I get? And you're kind of limited to what fast food.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, Carl's Jr.
And not even all of it.
No, not all of it.
Yeah.
Not all of it. I won't do McDonald's ever.
No.
I like Whataburger.
Okay. So
I like Whataburger.
I had a great debate, a burger debate in California recently, because they're all in and out. And I was like, I think you guys are missing out on Whataburger. And they're like, there's no way. And so I brought, that person was in Dallas. We had In and Out there, and they came up here and had Whataburger. And I was like, got you.
Got you.
It's better. I think it's better.
But I will also say In-N-Out in Dallas is not as good as the one in California.
I'd agree with that. I would agree with that. But why I think Whataburger is still better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Whataburger.
I like
Yeah.
Whataburger.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a double animal guy.
Whataburger.
No.
Is that what you
I-
do?
Yeah.
Double animal?
Yep.
Eat fast
It's
food
delicious.
burgers
It's
anyway.
good.
I just found out you could get peppers on it too.
Occasionally I do.
What kind of peppers can you get?
They have like a pepper mix that they put on.
What?
What?
Yeah.
On the double meat and cheese?
Yeah.
No, not at Whataburger. In and Out. Double
Yeah.
animal style with peppers.
I was,
Yeah.
we don't,
Yeah, it's funny. Every time I go somewhere, I feel like you're like, you got to try this burger. I'm like, I'm from Oklahoma. Like it should be our state cuisine. Like we
Right.
crush like this is the home of the onion burger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I have business partners that aren't from here. And I've taken them to get onion burgers, and they're like, "Why is this not everywhere?" And I'm like, "I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's delicious." So next time you give me your fancy burger,
Put some onions on
yeah,
it.
put some American cheese and mayonnaise on it. That's how you make it delicious. Very proud of our ability to cook burgers and fried chicken.
Yeah.
That is
We
true.
do well with the fried chicken too.
So, what country or region have you been to? Because you guys have traveled a lot. Do you think has the best food culture?
you go first.
I mean, I would say from where I've been in my experience, the best overall place for me was Italy. Obviously, it resonates with me. We have an Italian restaurant, but I would say the most excited I've been about a place that I've eaten that I've traveled to recently would be Tobago. It's down there by Venezuela. I mean, there's a huge African influence. I love the flavor. In terms of like modern stuff that I've really enjoyed, like Tobago is just definitely like, it's like shacks by the beach and it's phenomenal. In terms of like elevated cuisine, I'd have to say Spain.
Yeah.
Spain or Belgium.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I haven't been to Asia, so I can't. That's like next on the list.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I would say, and I'm always thinking kind of cheese here.
Right.
France in general, in all regions. Just obviously the culinary influence with food, and the way it's influenced America and our cheese making processes, because a lot of our artisanal cheeses we have here, which are excellent, are all kind of a nod to some cheese that's been made in France for thousands of years.
Okay.
So I've not been to all regions of France, but had many cheeses from different regions and just love the diversity in those. So, yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I think both
Eventually, you'll hit all regions of France.
somehow.
Yes, we're gonna do it. So this will be the last question.
You take it. You can have it. I've got a new one.
I'm
I'm gonna drop a bomb on
I
this
mean,
one.
y'all are already arguing over this
Yeah,
question. It's a tough question for some, but what is your favorite restaurant in Oklahoma City? And favorite thing to order there?
Well, Subaki.
Okay.
Jonathan already said it.
The gas station sushi restaurant.
Yes, which
I
is
know. Like, I
not.
think that's so cool.
It
People are
is
like,
cool.
"Eh."
It's a hidden treasure.
And it's little shotgun style. I mean, you just.
I'm
I
excited.
think there's
to try
two
it.
entrances. I didn't know that till someone came in. There's like a back and a
really?
front. I don't know that. Yeah.
I don't think that's an entrance, but I do think people use
Oh.
it. It's just
I've
a
never
door.
used it. I usually let, like you said, Henry's there often, let him just pick. But is it called the California Dream? It's on the Pringle.
Oh, the Salmon Dream.
Salmon. I always call it the California
I
Dream.
can break that shit down.
The salmon dream. Well, yeah. What's on the salmon?
So the Salmon Dream is a mixture of it's on a barbecue Pringle, and not like a version of.
You know, when you said Pringle, I was like, is that something that I don't know about? Is that the chip?
Yeah, he said that to me, and I was like, "What is this like a version of?" And he's like, and he holds up the can. I was like, "I love you, I love you so much more." It's a barbecue Pringle, and it's almost like a salmon, almost like a tartare,
Yeah.
but not quite, with dried cherry, mango, and that sauce he has, which he won't tell you what it is.
A little cucumber.
Yeah, and
Is
the
there a cucumber?
yeah, there's a little cucumber
my
on there,
gosh.
and it's like the somebody should make it a bar snack. Like it's
Yeah.
phenomenal. I love that
good.
thing.
It sounds
really
really
good.
good. Do you get several Pringles, or
You
you
get
get one?
three or four,
Three.
three or four. Yeah.
You get several Pringles.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get three.
You know, because
I
once
feel
you
like
pop,
I
you
could-
can't stop,
Right.
right?
There.
Yeah, and he like
That
takes
is
it up.
true.
And they're
Yeah.
they're turned, convex,
Yeah.
and they're laid out nicely, and you just
Oh, that's
pop
cool.
them. Yeah.
Wow.
But if you go there, you should just have him make whatever.
Have you had the
Yeah.
truffle and fluke yet?
No.
Have you had the yellowtail and foie gras?
I think I had that with
feel
you.
like I would like that.
Time, yeah.
That one's really good.
Oh
Should
man,
definitely
we
go.
definitely have
Sabaki.
It's phenomenal. dude.
Sabaki.
Subaki.
And I love it because like the cuts are small.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like for whatever reason in Oklahoma and kind of the U.S. in general, the cuts of sushi are quite large.
Yeah.
And so my brother-in-law is Japanese, and I took him to one place here, and that shall not be named, and he was like, "What is this?"
That shall not be
Yeah.
named.
And I took him to Subaki, and he was like, "This." They live out in Los Angeles, and he was like, "This is phenomenal. Like this will make it anywhere." I was like, "Yeah." Well, the guy worked at Masa in New York, which used to be #1 in the country
Wow.
in sushi. So the
Yeah.
guy's on
It's-
point.
It's interesting, like, a lot of people talk about location. I wonder what made him pick that location.
I asked him because I was like, "What?" And so him and his wife did all this research around the U.S. He was in New York, and he just didn't want to be another great sushi place in New York, and he did all this research on fastest growing zip codes by tax revenue, like all this stuff.
Wow.
And all his research sent him to Northwest Oklahoma City,
Shut
Oh, wow.
up.
and with the money they had, that's what they could afford, and I totally understand that story because
Yeah,
that's how I
yeah,
started
that
here,
would- yeah.
and
How amazing that's how they came to Oklahoma.
it is good.
How lucky are we to have something so great?
Yeah, he's freakishly talented.
So I know, like, my friends in Texas, California, they think I'm crazy whenever I say I'm having sushi in Oklahoma.
I know, and it's like you're in Texas.
Right.
Like, what
It's not much better,
you're not eating
right?
sushi out of the Gulf. Like,
Right.
don't tell me it's like if you tell me the fish is. I've fly fished in Galveston and not eaten what I caught.
Yeah.
The water was a little slick, and I was like,
no,
calm down.
No, it's not.
but
it's
with
not
modern
pretty.
shipping capabilities, I mean, it's
Right.
not. Our fish is in the water one morning, and then what we serve at the restaurant, we serve it the next night. So,
Right.
and he gets his stuff flown overnight from a lot of it's from Japan, so he knows his fish.
I'm definitely gonna try that before.
Side note, a lot of times he does use the Japanese name for the fish. So you can ask. But if you're looking at the specials board, you're gonna be like, I don't know any of this. Just ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll tell you, and you're usually like, oh, it's snapper. That's like, it's not that weird. Yeah.
All right. So I know, Jonathan, that this was one of your favorite places as well. But do you have another?
Yeah,
one?
it's one of my favorite places. I have a new one.
Okay.
And I feel like Bill Hader from SNL, located between a porn shop and a vape shop, in a strip center behind a strip center. It's literally where it is. So
It's in between a porn shop and a vape shop.
It's in between a porn shop and a vape shop on MacArthur and Northwest Expressway. On it would be like the northeast kind of. So the original Charleston's is kind of on that intersection. Not there.
Oh.
Go across the street a little bit north, and you'll see a Christie's toy box. Go there. And then
To
you
Christie's.
you can't do your thing, but like go to Christie's, and right next to that, between it and the vape shop, it's called Mana, and it is Indian cuisine.
Oh, okay.
And I recently put this in a post that I don't know if it actually sent a lot of people there, which has been amazing. It is a couple. They are elderly. They're Punjabi, so they're from northern India, and they run it themselves. So and then their son, who is very kind, who does have special needs, which I love that they have him there, kind of helps out a little bit. They take your order, they cook your food, they do everything. I will reiterate, they are not restaurateurs. So it's one of those things, like when I tell people about it, I'm like, please God, this is an old couple like cooking and slaving their ass off
Be
to
nice.
make amazing Indian
Right.
food. And don't go on Yelp and be like, the service was slow. Be like, yeah, motherfucker, it's slow. Like, they had to go cook it. So like, it takes a minute. And they cook, they literally like, they let me back in their kitchen and they have like nothing prepped, which is so gutsy. And like in the modern age, with people being on speed and now, I love that they don't even, to them, it's not even a part of their culture. They wouldn't even do that.
Right.
So when you order, they start prepping and cooking it to order. So when you order the naan bread, they make the dough and they have this true, tandoori baking oven, and they slap it on the sides.
Oh, really?
Dude, it is on point. So I had the goat biryani, which is a very spicy rice dish that has goat and vegetables in it. A dish called aloo, which is it's a cauliflower dish. It's close to a curry, but it's got like lentils. Phenomenal homemade yogurt with the naan bread. It is spicy. I don't think they really understand what you're saying when you say not that spicy.
Oh yeah. Well, for them, it's probably not that spicy.
Yeah, it lit me up, but it was delicious. And when I say like the decor leaves something to be desired is a nice way of putting it. But I just had a conversation with someone that I work with at Osteria who saw my post and went, and she's like, "That's some of the best food I've ever had in my life." And I was like, "It is on point. Like it is." It was recommended to me by a friend who's Punjabi. And he was like, dude, you got to go here. And I was like, where is it? And he was like, it's between a porn shop and a vape shop. And I was like, I'm going next week. Like, that's what I'm looking for. Because I think that's where authentic food is gonna be. And like when I travel, I'm not trying to go to some big fancy.
Right.
Yeah.
I've lived that life. I've been in. I know how it works, and I appreciate and respect the hell out of fine dining cuisine and the amount of work that goes into it. But there's just something about that person cooking only what they know just for you right then and there. It really is phenomenal. So the goat biryani is good. We actually got the chicken wings, which were some of the best I've ever had, which made me rethink our R&D for a new place. I mean, everything's served on, which is probably PC wrong, but everything's served on styrofoam plates. The water service is, it's bottles of waters from Sam's.
Right.
And you're gonna need more. And as I learned, you can't like call your server over. I just went back in the kitchen. I was like, can I get more water? I'm on fire. And they're like, it's over there. And I'm like, thank you. Yeah. And, and so it takes some time, but if you just love a place for really good food, Mana is probably,
Dude,
you're going to, dude,
I'm gonna have to try that.
It is so good.
Biryani and naan and raita and all that stuff. That's my language.
Yeah. And
That's what I was brought up on. So like, whenever
dude.
I go to these places, I'm like very like, okay, are you gonna stack up to what I know?
Yeah.
This is probably gonna make me sound like a little bit of an ass, but like I've had the ability to, I've been grateful. I've had the ability to travel and try authentic cuisines in so many places. So and it's not just Oklahoma; it's all over the kind of the Midwest.
Yeah.
You don't get real Thai. you have a version of it that's pretty good. It's a good food, but it's not Thai cuisine. Same thing with Chinese and a lot of these different cuisines. So what I loved about Mana, it's these people cooking only what they know, which is those very basic Indian dishes.
Yeah.
And like their butter chicken, boy,
Boy.
dude, it is so good. Like I was like, okay. There was that restaurateur in me that was like, how do I spin this? Like we could make it hip and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you know what? There's no reason to do that, because what makes it so great is the fact that it kind of takes a while. You know, it's service isn't great. The decor is, but I can't say anything good about it. But I will say that the food is phenomenal and the location's phenomenal. I mean, that's
Right. When you tell someone,
Yeah.
you go between a porn shop and a vape shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
You
you're
can't say that to many other places.
Yeah, if you're expecting a modern, like, exquisite interior between a porn shop and a vape shop, you need to adjust your reality.
Right. Absolutely.
It's different. But yeah, Mana is tops right now. It's really, really, really good.
Cool. I can't wait to
I'm gonna
try
have
it.
to try that.
Yeah. Well, I think that is going to wrap it up for us. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks for having me.
And for anyone that has not tried on Croûte, we highly recommend it. It is such a cool little spot.
For sure.
And you can follow them on social media.
On Croûte OKC.
Okay, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So show them some love. Their food is impeccable. The cheese is awesome. And
I've had to go to the bathroom this entire podcast.
plus your
Well, we're
height.
almost at the end.
I know. It's good. I mean, not good. Like, this has been great, but
Oh, God.
Well, Jonathan, is there anything you want? No, I'm just kidding.
it's like Goonies. Tell me everything. I'm in 4th grade. That didn't go so well.
That's so funny.
Like I had that moment. Should I? No, that probably won't be that long. Bad decision.
Bad decision. Well, we will wrap it up. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at OKC Foodcast. Feel free to send us in some listener feedback, or if you'd like to collaborate, we'd love to hear from you. You can email us at okcfoodcast@gmail.com.
And as always, share this podcast with a fellow food lover. Rate us, write us a review. We love seeing those, and it helps us get out in front of more people. So do that. We'll be grateful.
Yeah. And again, thank you so much, Jonathon and Crosby. We really appreciate you guys coming. And until next time, eat well and be happy. Bye.
Bye.